through Spain. Right, then there was your today.
Okay, we learn Lilu Nishmis.
Bega Bas Shlomo.
Speak about Shlomo and Neshama Shav and Aliyah. Discuss of the Torah of her grandchildren, a grandchild, a favorite grandchild, Pinchas Eliyahu.
Just reminded on the way here. I'll make up for tomorrow night.
Okay, anyway.
I'll give you a list of stores that are still
We are recording, by the way. Okay, thank you.
You wish I was on Zoom.
Okay. Anyway, we had a Mishnah that you Mekadesh with Isuri Hana in a Mekudeshes. So we went through the various Isuri Hana. We had Orla, we had Kerem, Shar Niskol, Egla Rufa, Tzipori Mitzur, Misay Nazir, Petachamar, Basa Bachalov. And the last one was Chulin Shinishklu Bazara. That Chulin that is Geshacht in Bazara is what is Asa Bahana. So we looking for a source of Chulin Shinishklu Bazara. How do you know it's no good? We have first attempted, HaKadosh Baruch said, listen, there's an issue of Shchutei Chutz. In other words, my stuff should be gone ahead and brought in my place. But my stuff should not be brought in your place. So too, your stuff should be brought in your place, and your stuff should not be brought in my place. Right. So that was the attempted lima. The problem with that is you couldn't learn out your stuff from my stuff, because my stuff, if you bring in your place, you're chayiv kares. Your stuff, you bring in my place, you're not chayiv kares. So therefore, we needed another source. So we bought 3 psukim. It said it says Pesach El Moed, and it says 3 times. It says the lashon of the Samach Yadai al Rosh Karbonai Ushachate Pesach El Moed. It's all by Shlamim. The Samach Yadai al Rosh Karbonai V'Shachar Yisrael Lefnei El Moed. The Samach Yadai al Rosh V'Shachar Yisrael Lefnei El Moed. We had three the shyness word of Shachtu Shachar. We said that I would think that Chulin Vazara is only, and then it says Ki Yirchach Micha Makayim, where you're too far away. Asher Yirchach Hashem Lekecha Lasnas Vasham V'Zavachta Mivkoracha. There you should go ahead and Shech and you eat it over there. So that's when you're far away. So when you're far away, you should bring your stuff, but don't bring your stuff when you're when you're close by. Then you should bring karbonis. But your stuff in the azara is not richak makan. It's not richak makan, and it says v'savachta v'achalta. So we wanted three. Now I would know the fast. So therefore, that teaches me chulin shenishklu b'azara that if it's you can't be zaveach b'makam karav chulin. B'makam karav meaning in the base of Mikdash you can't go ahead and bring chulin. What about a balmum? What about a chaya? What about an oif? Would there be a din of chulin shenishklu b'azara by those 3? And we said, in fact, it would be. You would learn out of balmum, right? But those 3 l'shaynis, the lashon of shchata, v'shach, we're going to use for those 3 dinim. The first din is the balmum, that even though it can't be bought as a carbon, but its type could be bought as a carbon. A balmum means it's a sheep with a mum, it's a cow with a mum, it's the animal is the right animal, right? What about a deer, a dechaya? That can't be bought as a carbon. Oh, but you need shchita. You need shchita. What about an oif? Now, an oif you also need shchita, guys, right? Oif you do need shchita. However, it doesn't say shchita mefurish in the Torah. It says there, v'zavachta v'achalta. V'zavachta is lashon. Zvicha means to shecht, guys. But it doesn't say zvicha. Rashi says it doesn't say zvicha what by oifis. The Rashba says an oifis kosher b'simin echad. You don't need shtei simonim. You don't need a kana and a vesh. You only need one. So therefore, even the passage shchita, it's different. So how would you know all those 3? So Talmud Leimar. So let's pick it up 4 lines from the bottom. Ushachatay, Anun Zayin Amid Beis. Ushachatay v'shachresay v'shachresay. Yachalo yishchait. I might think you shouldn't shecht. V'im shachat yemuta, but it's muta, right, to eat. Talmud Leimar. Ki yirchach mimcha hamakayim v'zavachta v'yachalta. Matchatay zeveach berachayk. Makayim ata yachol. That you go ahead and shecht in richik makayim ata oichel you could eat. V'ata oichel masha ata zaveach b'makam karav. But you can't eat something, fellas, that's brought in makam karav, meaning chulin in the makam karav. What's the makam karav? The Beis Hamikdash. There you can't go ahead and eat. Okay. So now we've ascertained that chulin shenis b'azara is asa b'achila. What's our goal? That it's asa b'hana as well, right? The ainli yela tamimim. I would say that's chulin Now, guys, we learned the three things. We'll learn Balmum is Chayav Oif. Good. It's be very repetitious. The only Tamimim. That says only Tamimim would be Asa Be'achila. A shchulin, you take a non-carbon, you shecht it by a zara, it's tamim, and that you can't eat. Amid Aleph, haruyin li karev minayin, right? Elas tamim haruyin li karev minayin le rabbis balei mumim. How do you know to be marba balei mumim that it's asa ba'achila if you go ahead and shecht it? Marba ni balei mumim shekain min hechsher. We'll say it's the same thing. It's min hechsher. It's the same type of you have to bring it as a carbon. You still bring it as a carbon, right? So since you still bring it as a carbon, right? That type you bring as a carbon. Therefore, it's included in achila, as we're going to see from the shachat. U'minay Rabbi says a chaya that if you bring a chaya be'azara, not only are you over a lav of chulin shenishlu be'azara, despite the fact you can't bring it as a carbon, and also you can't eat it. So shehish v'shchita kibehema, because it has the commonality with 4 lines down in chesam and aleph. Right, with shchita kibehema. Minay l'Rabbi says oifais. Now, how about the oifais, which are you don't have shchita kibehema? Hamad laimar. Therefore, it says v'shachtai, v'shachar isai. Now, so what have you know so far, guys? We know 1, it's asa to do, to shecht. 2, and if you shecht, it's asa to eat. But again, what's our mission? How do you know? Our mission. How do you know that chulin shnish mazor is a manna? So now. I might think you shouldn't shecht. Bim shachad, if you do shecht. Yashlichu lifnei klavim, meaning what? It's mutter b'hana, because you're going to feed it to the dogs. You can't eat it, but like nevela, you can go feed it. Hamad loymar, it says by treifa, lekelev tashlichin oisai. The treifa you throw to the dog. Oisai ata mashlich. That treifa you go ahead and throw in front of lekelev. The ata mashlich chulin shenisu b'azara. Okay, so now that we have a source. So the source is that is kiyirchak right? Where you shecht when it's far away, then you could shecht chulin. But when it's close, then you can't shecht chulin. Close means what? In the azar itself, and the repetitious of the shachar, say 3 times we go ahead and we learn out that by tmimim and by balimumim and by not tmimim. But balimumim oifes and chay and oifes, that not only is it asa to shecht, it's asa b'achila. And how do you know it's asa b'hana? Because it says by treifa the kelev tashlichno, so that you throw to the dogs. That you have enough from. But chulin shenishlu b'azara you don't have enough from. Very geshmak. Okay, says the Gemara. Mar Yehuda Ashkechinu l'Mar Yehuda l'Rabbi Yosef. So Rabbi Yehuda found Rabbi Yosef, Rav Shmuel Berei the Rabbi of Rav Chana, and Shmuel the son of Rav Chana, that they kaimei apischa de Rabbi. So Mar Yehuda found them sitting by the yeshiva of Rabbi Yosef, Bar Pluktis. They were hanging out in the yeshiva. Amar lahu. So Mar Yehuda said to Rabbi Yosef and Rav Shmuel Berei the Rabbi of Chana, Tanya hamagdish bepetach amar. If someone's makadish a woman with a petach amar, a firstborn donkey, bebasa b'cholav or cheeseburger, ubechulin shenishlu ba'azara. Rav Shimon Aimen mekudeshes, the Chacham Aimen mekudeshes. Rav Shimon says mekudeshes, and the Chacham say what? Eina mekudeshes. So why do you see Alma chulin shenishlu ba'azara? Rav Shimon lav deraisa. You see that chulin like Rav Shimon, a chulin shenishlu ba'azara is not deraisa. Okay. Rashi, Rav Shimon Oyman Mikudeshes, a little bit up. Petach Hamar Mechayim, only when it's alive, guys. After it's decapitated, then it would be asa. It would be asa. So when Shimon says that that's Mikudeshes, is that before it was still alive and you failed to redeem it, but you didn't kill it yet. Reb Shimon Latamei, the Amar Le'el Mutabana, that he said that it's Mutabana. Basa B'chala, Reb Shimon Latamei, the Amar Le'el Mutabana. Ubechulin Ba'azara, he held his lav deraisa. This is an important Rashi. Ksava Isurei lav deraisa. Chulin being shachted in the Azara, this is not deraisa. Lo yisa shchitasai, neither it's shchita, lo yisa hanasai, and nor it's hana. Now, the lo darish berichak makom hachi. And he doesn't dash in the source that we use, the richak makom. Ella midrabanan. It's only us the rabbanon. Dil what's the yisur rabbanon? Dilma asila meimar kachim shenifzlu la'acha shchita hein shlei nisuk dama. It was kachim that was puzzle after the shchita, and you didn't throw the blood. The kamas hani minayo, and you're having enough from it. They won't know that it's chulin, guys. If it's chulin, you're not going to sprinkle the blood, correct? Mm-hmm. So they're not going to know that. What are they going to think? It's an animal. That and you failed to go ahead and do the avodah. And therefore what? You could have enough from it, not realizing that 1 second. That's a carbon. There's no way you can have enough from that. Right? And you'll have come to have enough from kachim that you didn't do srikas at that. So that's Reb Shimon Shita. Good. So now that's Reb Shimon Shita. Now the Gemara asks, Uriminu, I'll ask you a stiran of Shimon. Reb Shimon Oimer, Reb Shimon's of the opinion, Chulin shenishchatu ba'azara yisrafu. Now what does yisrafu mean? He didn't say asa. It said you got to do something with it. You know what you can do with it? You got to burn it. That is a very, very extreme measure. Usually reserved for a deraisa. Usually reserved. The fact that it's going to be burned, it shows that it can be. And this is the rabbanon and gezerah you'd have to burn. Just say it's asa. All you're worried about is that what you'll say kachim that you didn't have a srikas dam. That is what it's mutter to eat. Don't eat it. You'll accomplish your goal. Why do you have to take it one more step and burn it? It must be why. Because that's the right guys. You hear the line of reasoning. Why would you have to burn it if it's only the rabbanon? Says the Gemara, where there's no svara whatsoever to say you're going to make a mistake even. Guys, by a chaya, a deer, venison, there's no way in the world you're going to say what? That it's you mix it up. So how can you say that what? It's the rabbanon. Says the Gemara is shtiku. So both Rav Yosef and Rav Shmuel Berei the Rav Chana, they were quiet. Asla made the Rabba. Now they came in front of Rabba and they posed the Shiloh. Amalhu. So Rabba said to Rav Yosef and Rav Shmuel Berei the Rav Chana, Palga ukmincha. Palga, the arguer, meaning Mar Yehuda ukmincha. He put you in your place. He stumped you. He got you. He knows he got you. How are you going to answer this up? You got a stira. One place he says it's the rabbanon. The other place is Mashem Yisru. It's the Raisa. You know what we're dealing with over here? He going shenishchata v'nimsa treifa. You know why you can't be mekadeshes with it? Because you shechted it and it was found to be a treifa. Right? It was found to be a treifa. And that is why you could be mekadeshes. Shimon litamei ditanya. Ashoichet es a treifa. Dechin ashoichet v'nimsa treifa. They're both chulin bazara. Rav Shimon mater bahana, the chachamim oisin. So the brisa that says that Rav Shimon said you can be mekadesh anisha, right? Really, it's really you can't be. Really, you can't be. The one he said over here that you could be was a treifa. Why does Rav Shimon hold, guys? Shchita she'ena ruya loy shma shchita. So you know why it's asa bahana? It's not chulin shedisl bazara. It's not anything. Says Rashi. Okay, I just told you the wrong pshat. I said the right pshat earlier. The latter brisa, why you mukudeshes? Because it's not chulin shenishlu ba'azara. Because it never was a shchita. Guys, one more thing outside. I'm get a little clarity. Shimon was mechadish that it's only us and the rabbanon, right? And you be mechadish nishu with it, right? It's not us the rabbanon. Then you have a steer yisroifu. You got to burn it. Mashma, it's us the raisa. And for the Gemara, that price that said that's Mekudeshes, you can go ahead, what? I mean, Mekadesh an issue with it is it's not speaking about Chulin Shinuslu Azara. It's speaking about Chulin that you brought in the Azara and you failed to Shech. What do you mean you failed to Shech? You Shechted it. What do you mean you failed to Shech? Well, it was a treifa. What does a treifa mean? That the Shechita doesn't matter the meat. That's called Shechita She'ena Ru'uya. Says Rav Shimon, Shchita she'ena ruya, loy shma shchita. So did you have a case of chulin shenishchlu ba'azara? Biologically, physically, you had a shchita. Halachically, you did not have a shchita. Mela, therefore, mikudeshes. You can go ahead and mekadesh. Let's see Rashi.
They're not going to make a mistake with people? They won't make a mistake if they don't.
No, it could be asad rabbanon, but if you mekadesh nisha with it, it's not asad bahana. It's not asad bahana. Rashi says, Hachab mayaskin. What are we dealing with over here? Let's see this Rashi. The Amar of Shimon Mikudeshes, Shinimtza Treifa. Rav Shimon Tamei the Amar LeInyan Kisei Adam Voice of Espinoi, V'Tashlumi Abar V'Chemisha, which are all dinim in Shchita. Shchita Shen Ruya Lachila Loishma Shchita. V'Chol Chia V'Issa Haba Al Yidei Shchita Ein Echal Leha. So there's no Issa Voice Espinoi. You won't be Chayif V'Dalet V'Hei. You won't be Chayif V'Chul Shish Mazara. Hilkach Issa Chulin Halalu Al Yidei Shchita Ba Leha. V'Holav Shchita Hi. It's not a Shchita. So Memela. That's the answer to the kasha. You want to know why one place it says Mukudeshes and the other place that you want to say that way it's Asa. He says, now why would you have to burn it? Right? Why would you have to burn it? That you have to go back above. Yisrafu, V'Yislagilu B'Kfura, Alma Isur Men HaTorah, Dimid Rabbanan Mi Machmin Kuli Hai would be so machmir. Nehid V'Vehema Gazer Atu Psul Mikdashim. You shouldn't say that about kachim that apostle you have to bury. Alachaya, you can't be geyser a deer at the regular kachim because you can't bring it. V'lama hi b'sreifa, v'afil b'kfura, elevada yisumin atayra, u'sreifa some midrei seifrim, b'behema, gazer dil masil ameima kachim p'sulim b'kfura. In other words, why are you burning it? You're burning it like a carbon. In other words, you're burning it that to avoid people what do it in the future, what might do with the carbon, so you're burning it. That's you're burning it. But the kasha was, so I understand why you burn it. Even though it's in this Rabbanan because you want to burn it. Why? Because you want to make a stay with kachim. If kachim, you don't do the avoid, you got to burn it. You can't just bury it, right? So therefore we burn it, not to make a mistake. Okay, what about Kidushin? Can you Mekadesh Zara? Pashas was saying, no, you can't. You can't, it says Gemara. So, but Nimtza tray for that. You say Mekudeshes is just finding a tray because there was no shchita at all. It wasn't Chulin Shnus Bazara. Why? Because shchita shein ruya loishma shchita. So there was no shchita. There was no shchita. Says the Gemara. The last thing of the Mishnah was Machron. All those things Arla Kleya Kerim Basa B'Cholov. Egla Rufa, Petachamar, all of them, Machron, B'Kiddush, B'Demehem, Mekudeshes. If you sell them, the money that you get for them, be Mekudeshes, guys. If you sold them, the money you got, Mekudeshes. What? And what don't we say? We don't say the money gets the Isser of the object you sold. You can't have enough from a cheeseburger. You can't work in McDonald's. I'm sorry. I can inform you of this at this stage of your life. But you can't go ahead and work in McDonald's, right? You can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. You can't sell it. You're getting paid to sell cheeseburgers, right? So what happens? You sell the cheeseburger. Guy gives you $1, a Mickey deal, right? Somewhere you get $1. If it's typhus dameha, that $1 is also by no, but it's not. And therefore, you can be Kidushin Isha with if you got $1 for selling a cheeseburger, you can Kidushin Isha. You can't be Mekadesh Nisha with a cheeseburger, but you could be Mekadesh Nisha with the $1 that you got for a cheeseburger. What? I'm not having enough in the cheeseburger because the money is not typhus the meha. It's not typhus the meha. The money does not get the halach of the cheeseburger. Good? So now, Minalan, Midigoli Rachmana Ba'avoidis Kechavim. The Torah says it says in the parsha of Avodah Zarah, it says, don't bring a to'eva into your house. And it should be chayrim doomed like it. Shakits the shakshenu, the saibs zavenu ki chayrim hu. That's what it says about Avodah Zarah. That it should be like chayrim. Now, what does that mean? Anything that you get from it, it's just like it. It's just like it. So it gets anything that you derive from the Avodah Zarah has the din of Avodah Zarah. And therefore what? The money that you got from the Avodah Zarah is kamahu. And it's typhus nemeha. Mechlal, we can infer when we had the special halacha specifying by Avodah Zarah, the choli surim shebetayra, sharu, that all the other halacha isurim the Torah are permitted. When you needed to tell me by Avodah Zarah, it's typhus nemeha, it must be dafka there and nowhere else. And therefore we know Bas B'Chola, Petach Hamor, Orla, Klei HaKerem, all the things mentioned Egla Rufa, that if you would sell them, you could go ahead and be a Kaddish woman with whatever you got for them. Good. Because the halacha is unique to what? To avoid zarah. So let's learn that from avoid zarah. Let's learn that from avoid zarah. Because the more you can't. Why can't you? Mishum dehave avodas kechavim and shvius shnei kesuma ban ke'echad. You have avodas zara u'shvius, the produce of shvius, that if you sell it, that produce gets the halacha of shmita. The chol shnei kesuma ban ke'echad imalamdim. Okay, by now, if you don't know it by now, I'll still explain it to you. He always said, guys, if the Torah wanted to learn something, teach me, it would only say it once. The Torah is always mekatza. The fact that it says it twice, it limits it. In other words, only those 3 places, no other places. Good? So therefore, I have 2 places that say what? If you sell the Isser, the coins get the halakha of the Isser. What are the 2 places? Avodah Zarah and Shvius. Where do you know Avodah Zarah from? Cherem Kamahu. Anything you get from Kamahu. What's the question? Where do you know Perish Shvius from? Okay? Says the Gemara. Avodah Kechav Hadamar, and we said Hayisichem Kamahu. Shvius Maihi, which pasuk teaches me that the produce of Shvius, if you sell, it's Taifus Tamecha. It says Ki Yovel Hi Kodesh Tielachem, and Yovel has a din of Shemitah, right? And it says Kodesh, that this is Kodesh. Ma Kodesh, just like Karbonis. Taifus is dam, not that for Karbonis, even better Kabayis, Taifus is dam of Av Shvius Taifus is Tamecha. So we learn it out from the fact that Kodesh, we call it like Kodesh, and just like Kodshim, if you go ahead and you take the money and you spend it on the Kodesh, what happens? The money becomes Kodesh. So too by Perish Shvius, the money becomes Perish Shvius. Now the question is, by Kodshim, if you took the money, the Kodesh is mutter. In other words, if you have, let's say you have a brick. You have a brick, and you Makadish Lebedek Abayas, and then you need a brick for your house, and the brick costs $10. So you go ahead and you put down how much? You put down what? $12.50. Put it down. Buy yourself a brick. Good. What's the halacha now? The money is Kodesh. The brick is not a brick. It's chulin. But by Shemitah, it's not like that. By Shemitah, the parish is Shemitah, and whatever you spent in is also. So if your limud is from Kodesh, let's limit it to what? The same thing in Kodesh, that the parish Shemitah should now be clean, just like the brick is clean. Fred the Gemara Kasha. So how do you know that if you're learning from there, says Gemara Kodesh Tefes is dam of Av Shvius Tefes is the Mecha also should be Tefes the Mecha. Now, so very good. Fred the Gemara Kasha. Ima Kodesh Tefes is dam of v'yoytze l'chulin. It goes out l'chulin. Av Shvius Tefes is the Mecha v'yoytze l'chulin. So the parish should also go l'chulin. Tamid Leimar Tiyeh. It says the lashon of what? Of Tiyeh. Yovel hi Kodesh Tiyeh. It should be in its natural state. So now we're going to see, guys. Well, listen to this. Let's say you start off with you have payers of you have peaches. You take the peaches and you barter it for basa. What's the halacha of the basa? Shemitah, right? What's the halacha of shmius? What's the halacha of peaches? Shemitah. What happens? You take the basa and buy tuna fish. So now the tuna fish is kodesh, but the basa is not. Only the original peri. It doesn't keep on going down. It doesn't create more. It just doesn't leave. But Ketzad lochach beperish shvius basar elu misbarim b'shvius. They have to get rid of them. The basar dogim. If you go ahead and then take the basar which has kedusha shmita and you buy fish, yatsa basar. The basar goes to chulin and nichsu dogim, and then the dogim become kodesh b'shmita. The dogim. Yayin, you go ahead and switch the dog for Yayin. Yeah, that's good exchange. Yatsu dogim and nichnas Yayin. So what the dogim are now chulin, and the Yayin is perish, has kedusha shmita. The Yayin shemen, Yatsu Yayin, nichnas shemen. Okay, it's that. Achman, whatever the last one's going to be, nitvas b'shvius uperi atzma, and the original peris asa. So Memela, I know to answer the kasha. How do you know that all these surim shebet Torah, that if you sell that it naturally becomes what? It loses it's not asa, because the only 2 places where you find that the issa goes down the line is Shemitah and avodah zara. And v'chol shnei kusum emalamdim. Fred the Gemara kasha hanich lamandi ame emalamdim elamandi ame malamdim ma'yik lemeimar loitamandi ame that you do learn. What are you going to say? And for the Gemara, me'ute kesiv. By each one, there's a miyat. In other words, there's a miyat by avodah zara to limit it to avodah zara, and there's a miyat by shvius to limit to shvius. Kesiv hacha kicherim hu. What does it say by avodah zara? Kicherim hu. Right? What does who mean? It and only it. Kesiv hasam yovel he in. Midi achrin aloi. So like the man yamashnei kasuvim, you have two things that you don't learn from Shemitah and avodah zara. Like the man yamelamdim, you have miyutim. Dafka hu by avodah zara, dafka he by Shemitah, and you have ends a nice Gemara dealing with all these Surah Hana. Okay, let's finish the parak tonight. Bez Hashem. As we grow closer to the Siyam on Masechta Kidushin and Seder Nashim, and we're going to have a birthday party for the rabbi. It's a biggie.
Ooh.
Is Kenny?
Who do you think?
Is that the cow that's in the shed?
Yeah,
I thought I heard it outside.
so my wife was wondering what to do. What?
Get paralyzed.
Closed by
Green food for everyone.
no, it's
November.
actually in April. They're celebrating in November.
It's my birthday's in November and Cheshvan, and we're in October, so in a few weeks we're gonna. Okay, anyway. So Bez Hashem, there's something to look forward to for you guys, for me.
Tell you everything to keep
I'll
us
make
in
fun
mind.
of it. Make fun.
Okay, anyway.
Maybe a travel one.
Okay, no, I'm a Kaddish betrumois umaisris umatonis. If a man is Mekadesh a woman with trumois, with truma gedayla, which he, as we're going to see, even in Israel, u'b'maisris is not such a chiddush. That's maisa. Well, maisa sheni is machloikis, right? But maisa rishon. Everyone knows maisa rishon is mom and hedit. Good. Matonis is the zeraya l'chaim v'akeva, that every animal of chulin, right? That the kohen gets the right foot, he gets the beef cheeks and the tongue, and he also gets the keva. What's important about the keva? It's got rennet. And in the old days, they didn't have synthetic enzymes. That's how they made cheese. They put it the enzyme. Hesh, remember on the farm?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
They're churning the butter.
But they do the lux.
the lax. Anyway,
Slaves.
okay. Anyway, uvemechatas ubeafa para. Nor the mechatas is when the waters mix together, and afa para is the from the burnt paraduma. Harizu mikudeshes. She's mikudeshes. Vafil Yisrael. And what? You notice I changed the gears to the bays? Yeah, duchsik, right? You should go back to sleep. Now, says the Gemara, Vafil. You woke up for that, but
Who's gonna correct you? No, he didn't wake up. He woke up for your party.
Vafil hu Yisrael. Rashi says, because sal kedaitach. You only have in the first part of the pasuk, in the matonos, in the trumas maisa or truma, you only have hana, taivas hana. But shebiyadei l'sitem l'chom yishiyirtza. Fellas, you can give it to any coin you want. Now you could accept a small amount of money to give it to a certain coin. So let's say, for example, your maternal grandfather's a kohen, your mother's a bas kohen, and you know he's an old man, he doesn't get around too much anymore, and you want him to get a truma, so you'll be able to go ahead and go over to your friend and say, listen, here's a buck, go ahead and give it to my zayda. That's called toivus hana. Okay, that's called toivus hana. The gami lag zach sel b'toivus hana. She also would only be zayich in toivus hana. Now here's the question, guys. Is toivus hana considered mammon or not? So from our Mishnah, clearly you would say it is mammon. The fact why you can mekadesh an isha, and remember mekadesh for milvain mekudesh because you need to get something. So obviously it must be toivus hana is worth something. right? Or else, what is she being mukudeshes with? Where's the shava pruta, right? Where's the shava pruta? So zu she tzrichel litnim lekayin v'hamaisel alevi u'mikatshi b'toivus hanazu the kasavar toivus in a moment. That toivus in a moment. Before we begin the Gemara, let me explain out something very, very, I think, make something very clear. Let's say I'm not a kayin. Let's say I'm not a kayin, and I get a present. The kayin says, "Listen, here's truma. It's truma." I said, "I can't eat it." He goes, "You can't eat it, but you could sell it. You're not going to get a lot of money for it because supply and demand. There's a lot of it around, and demand is limited." Is that mummin by me? Can I give you a kaddish nisha with that? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's mine. I own it. I can't eat it. I was given a present. My Zayda died. I yarshined it from my maternal grandfather was a kayin. If it's your mummin, it's your truma, there's no chiddush whatsoever that you can use that. That's not the chiddush of the Mishnah. The chiddush of the Mishnah is, as we're going to see in a second, you end up getting it, but you get it like this. You get it like this. Now, if I get tevel. Have tevel. Tevel is chulin and truma mixed together. I didn't, as we say in the vernacular, tithe. I didn't go ahead and separate anything from it. Yeah. Can I be mekadosh nisha with that? It depends. If toivus hana is mamin, I could be mekadosh nisha with it because all I have in that pile is the toivus hana to give that truma to some kayin, but I don't own the truma. It's not mine. It's mine to give to somebody else, but I don't own it. All I own is the right to go ahead and pay somebody to give it to give it to whoever, that allow someone to give me money to give it to somebody else. Yes.
In that case, yeah, they should use the truma for that she would have.
But she would, if I give her the
Once you give the truma, then she has leftover stuff.
no, but you give the again, but it has to. If it's mixed together, right? We're speaking about truma over here. We're speaking about the truma over here. If you gave her the tevel is not, it's not chulin yet until you separate the truma. Again, if you but then you have to make then you the mekadesher again. Then you're not being mekadesher with truma. You're being mekadesher with chulin. There's no chiddush in that. The chiddush is in the truma part. What's the Mishnah say, Avrami? Hamekadesh b'truma. You're saying there's no chiddush that you can mekadesh with chulin, right? Again, you'll be correct, but I'm saying that we want the truma part. So there's a difference, fellas, in you owning truma or owning the rights to give that truma. If you own the truma, there's no chiddush whatsoever. If you own the rights, then there's the chiddush of toivus and nabim mammon or not. Good. Now, says the Gemara with that in mind. Ama Ula says Ula. Toivus hana ain't a mammon. Toivus hana is not considered mammon. Why would you ask? We just did a Mishnah that you mekadesh b'truma, and what's the truma? The toivus hana. Esivei Rav Abba Leula hamekadesh b'truma subemaisus umatanas mechadas bevapara harezu mekudeshes va'afili Yisrael. Now, what rights does Yisrael have in this truma? Only the toivus hana. And if you mekudeshes, obviously must be that what? That it's mammon. So how can you Ula argue on a Mishnah? Amalei said, Ula, our Mishnah is not speaking about toivus hana. I'm Mishnah speaking about where you own truma. Hacha be Yisrael shenaftu loy tfolim mi beis avi imay kayin. His maternal grandfather died, and he's a kayin, and he left him tevel. So what did he gain? I still own toivus hana. Because Savar, guys, here's the Chiddush, and this is the Chiddush in the Mishnah. Matanos shaloi hurmu, matanos that you didn't separate. Kimi shahurm yadamya. Its view is separated already. Pirish. This tevel that's in the Rishus of the Kayin, you have a Gemar Malacha, everything's ready to go. We'll view it as it's separate. So if it's separate and you inherit it, what are you inheriting? It's like you're inheriting chulin and truma. They just happen to be together at the time. What's the halacha if you have own truma? Of course you can be mekadesh. That's the chiddush in the Mishnah. Now Rashi says the Mishnah could have told you the chiddush that you inherited truma from your grandfather, but there's no chiddush. The chiddush over here is that even though it's not separated, it's considered separated. That's the chiddush. That's the chiddush. So you're telling me the chiddush that your grandfather died, he was a kohen, he left you what tevel. We'll view the tevel as separate, and you makadosh with the truma part, mikudeshes. But that's not Tovas Hana. It's not. You say Tovas Hana in a moment. It's not a kasha on me because you're not being Mekadosh with Tovas Hana. You're being Mekadosh with money. That she can sell that truma. If it was Tovas Hana, she can only give it to a kohen who she wants to give it to. If it's truma that she owns, she can sell it. Guys, that's I'm trying to difference, right? Tovas Hana means you don't own it. You have to give it. It's a mitzvah to give it, and so you can make a few bucks giving it to a certain kohen. But Vashenkin, if you own the truma, it's no difference than owning a Winnebago. Why I thought of that, I have no idea. Okay, anyway, guys, you good? Guys, you all good? Let's see, Bobby good. Mordechai, you good? Island is starting up soon, huh? Getting excited there, so you break at the hat. Yeah, no one's excited about the Rangers. Says the Gemara. The Devils, on the other hand, okay, says the Gemara Vaita. So now, very good shmak, guys. So therefore, you mekadosh with truma. Boy, mean Rav Chia bar Abba me Rav Huna, Tovas na mamin or ena mamin, the same shaila that Ulu was asked. Amalei tenisua that you hamekadosh with truma ma'asos matanas mechatas ve'fapara harizum mikudeshes va'fili Yisrael. So l'chare Tovas na is money. So Amalei. So said Rav Chia bar Oven to Rav Huna. You can't be by Shemai Shaila. It's not speaking about Tovas Hana. It's speaking about in you inherited truma. So that's what Rav Chia bar Ravin said to Rav Huna. So what did Rav Huna say back to Rav Chia bar Ravin? Amalei hutza'at. You're a hutzah. It doesn't sound so good, right? You're a hutzah. Rashi brings a few pshatim. So Echsif, he thought Rav Huna, Rav Chia bar Ravin thought Rav Huna was dissing him. And he got embarrassed. No. So Sava Mishmaitzu Karmele. He thought that he missed the boat in the sugya. So I'm like, no. Hachi Kamina. Said Rav Huna Rav Chia bar Rav. No, this is what I mean. Rav Asi the Hutzel Koi Kavasach. Rav Asi from Hutza. Rav Asi from Hutza, from that place, he holds like you. In other words, you learn Kishmak of Shat in the Mishnah, Tzetzing and that the Mishnah is speaking where that you've inherited Tevel from your grandfather, your maternal grandfather, and Kamisha Humri Dami. It's like it's ready to be. Again, because he was a kohen, since he was a kohen, it's already considered separate. Guys, you good? Okay, says the Gemara. The Gemara suggests kit hanoi. Let's do this Gemara on the chart. I sent it out. Yes, this is new. I did it today. All right. So now, let's say it's a machlokes. Here's the case, guys. Top hagoiniv tivloi shel chaveroi. If you steal the tevel of your friend, Rabbi says you have to return the whole thing. Rabbi Huda says you only return the chulin. You don't have to return the truma. So you make a denomination, you make a cheshbin, and you don't have to return it. Guys, you hear the machlokes. Says Rabbi, you have to return the whole thing. And says Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yehuda, you'd only have to return the chulin, but not the trumas from Maisa, because the Ganef can tell you that you know what you can't be tayveya that. What's the machlokes? Right? What's the machlokes? Second column. Rebbe's of the opinion that Tavas is mammon. It's money, so you own it. In other words, my Tavas on the truma is something viable that I own. You stole it. You have to return it. It's money. You can't kind of that doesn't have value. It has value. I can give it to whoever I want. That has value because Tavis no money. Therefore, you have to return the whole thing. What does Rabbi Yossi hold? He says Tavis no ain't a mammon. So all you have to return is what is the chulin. Because what right do you have in truma? You can't eat it. You have a right to give it to whoever you want. That's not something that is stolen. It's the ain't a mammon. So that's the Gemara's havamina is that Tavis hana is what machlokes between Rabbi and Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, no, everyone holds Tovas as mammon. Everyone holds it as money. So what's the machlokes then? Why does the Kashna Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda? Says and the machlokes is matanas shlei hurmu kamishu hurmadami. Do we view the matanas that they're separate or not? So Rebbe says matanas shlei hurmu is kamishu hurmadami, like it's separated. So since it's separate, guys, it's like you stole chulin and truma. right? You didn't steal Tavis Hana. You stole the separate truma. I own the truma now, right? And you stole it. Kamisha Hurmadami. And therefore you have to return the whole thing. And Rabbi Yossi says, no, Lavka Hurmadami. It's Lavka Hurmadami. And therefore what? You don't have to return it. Then therefore you don't only return what? You only return the chulin. And not another pshat is no, everyone else Matanas Kamisha Hurmadami. And Tavis Hana is not money. Everyone holds that. Now. So that's the machlokes. Machlokes is Shmuel. Shmuel says chita achas poteres akri. One chita can go ahead and separate truma. So Rebbe holds like Shmuel. So you could I separated the truma is mine. I separated it with one kernel, and therefore give it back to me my truma that I own. And he doesn't hold like Shmuel, and therefore it's separate. And all you have is Tavis Hana. Tavis Hana is not money, and therefore you have to return only the chulin and not the truma. Then he wants to everyone next case. Everyone doesn't hold like Shmuel. And what's the pshat? Rabbi says we cancel the ganif to return the whole thing, and Rabbi Yossi says we don't cancel the ganif to return the whole thing. And finally, everyone holds like Shmuel. And so what's the din? Rabbi says we don't cancel the balabayis for keeping truma for keeping tevel around, and Rabbi Yossi says we cancel him, and that's why he only gets back his chulin, not his truma. What we say about a person, a chava will not allow what? A chava will never let tevel. Why? Because chas v'shalom. So this person, what did he do? You stole this tevel? Why did he have tevel in the first place? Right? Ella, so why? So we punish him. How do we punish him? He only gets back chulin. He doesn't get back what? The truma. And memela, this is not machlokes dependent upon what? It's not dependent upon whether it's Tavis Hana is mammon or not mammon. Okay, that's very good. Now with that, we can best Hashem proceed. If you want to keep it open in front of you, it might be helpful. I'm going weiter. Says the Gemara. Kitanoi. Again, if tivle shel chaveroi, the mishalim loyd may tivla. You steal the tevel of your friend, you pay him may tevel shel chaver. You pay back the whole thing. The Rebbe. The rest of Yehudaima ain't a mishalim ela demei chulin shaboy. So Rebbe obviously holds it's money. We have to return the whole thing, and Rebbe says not money. My laba kanifli the masava. Rebbe's of the opinion tavis na moment. Therefore, you have to return the whole thing. Umasav and Yehuda tavis na ain't a moment. Therefore, you only give back the chulin. Doesn't matter like the kuliyama tavis na ain't a moment. So what's the svara of if it's ain't a moment? Why does Rebbe require you to go back the whole thing? So it's the same case in the Mishnah. Zayd left you what? Zayd left you a Yerusha, and it's considered as if it's separate already or not. That's the machlokes. Ma'asava, Rebbe's of the opinion, Kimisha Hurmadami. Therefore, it's money, and he stole your truma. Well, Ma'asava and Rabbi Yehuda says like Kimisha Hurmadami. Therefore, it's still chulin, and it's Tavis Hana, and therefore you have to return only the chulin. By saying the Kolyama Kimisha Hurmadami. Everyone knows what Kimisha Hurmadami, and the Tavis Hana ain't a moment, and Tavis Hana what is not money, and it's not speaking where it fell you from Zayd's house. It's speaking about a regular case of tevel. The ma is Shmuel. Rebbe holds a Shmuel. Therefore, you could tell the ganif that return the truma to me because I separated. The ma less the Shmuel and Rebbe Yehuda does not hold the Shmuel. V'yivar same with the Kulyama less the Shmuel. The hachayin with time of the Rebbe that what returned the whole thing. The kansura abundant the ganif he shouldn't gain. Right? Let's have it as rishus truma. The V'yivar same with the Kulyama islu the Shmuel. The hachayin the time of the Rebbe Yehuda. If he holds the Shmuel, then why do you return only the chulin? The kansura bonon the balabayis playboyle leshuye letivle. Shouldn't left his tevel around, leaving it around. Be constant that he only gets back. Why the chulin is not truma? What's the bottom line? Torah's not mom and not mom, and the Gemara is not paishet. That's good. Schwartz are great. Yeah, there you go. Okay, says the Gemara weiter. Let's finish up. Tanan, Hamakadesh b'trumos u'b'maisris. Again, the Amishna, Matanois, the Mekatos Veifapara, I was in Kudeshes, Amishna, the Alpha P Yisrael, Uriminu, and Noitos, Scharlodin, if someone takes Schar to go ahead and judge, Din of Betalim is Din is Batal. Leheyet, if he takes Schar to go ahead and testify, Edusa Betela, his testimony is Batal. A per Lahazles, Ulakadish Meimav, to go ahead and spitz paraduma, or to mix the paraduma with the ashes in the water. Meimara, it's considered Meimara. It's considered, Rashi says it's considered water of the cave, which is, it's Saruach, it's disgusting. The Afarai and its Afer is Afer Makla, is considered just regular burnt ash and not in Paraduma. So in other words, what do you see? You see that a person's not allowed to take schar for Lahazos Lakadesh. So how can the Mishnah say you can mekadesh an isha by what? Are you getting schar from the mechatas and the efa para? Says the Gemara, there's a big difference. Some Rabbi like kasha kan b'schar haba umiloi. If the schar is bringing it and filling it up, in other words, you didn't do the actual mixing of it, then you could be mekadesh an isha. You're not taking, you're not being nana from the paraduma. You're not having a schar from the paraduma. You were a shlepa. You took a salary for that menial job, right? And therefore you can be mekadesh an isha with that. Kan b'schar hazav v'kidush. The schar for spritzing, the schar for mixing it together, that already is asa. That you can't. And dekanami b'ktani hacha mechatus b'efa para. So over here in our Mishnah it says mechatus me'para, and hasam over there that in the it says hasam lahazles l'kadesh. It doesn't just say chatas and efa para. It says the spritz and l'kadesh in those verbs to do actions. Shmam, you know it's a good teretz. Thanks everyone for listening. Let's say a kapitel to Hillam, okay? Same one.